Manchester City have been utterly embarrassed, utterly decapitated by Tottenham Hotspur. 4-0 at the Manchester City Stadium, at the Etihad Stadium. That is where Tottenham Hotspur have gone and did the damage to Manchester City. This could be the most satisfying, downfall of Manchester City before they get to lose all the cases, before they get to plead guilty of all the cases of which they are. Manchester City are on a downward spiral, and you love to see it. If you're an Arsenal fan, you love to see it. This might be the best day that we have seen as Arsenal fans. I mean, back in the day when we were going against Manchester United, there was very, very little joy. When Manchester United lost, Arsenal usually lost, and they ended up having the better joy, right? And with Pep Guardiola being in the league, we never thought that days like this would actually come. Man City have now lost 3 of their last 3 Premier League games. They have lost 5 of their last 5 games in all competitions. And I can't explain how I'm feeling. I can't explain what's going on at Manchester City. Like, I do not have any insider knowledge. They still have the same quality players. They do not have Rodri, probably. That's the reason. They have just lost 4-0, and the title race blown open. This is why I told you guys, I'm very, very negative at times, and I know at times I really, really get angry. But I remember saying during the international break that the title race was not over. And the reason that's why I say that was, you look at this Manchester City side, they are not perfect. They're going to drop points, and they will drop more points. And I remember saying by January, Arsenal will be a point above or a point behind Manchester City. And we have won today, and Manchester City have lost points. And that means that we are 1 point behind City. That is magnificent. For Liverpool, we will wait for Liverpool's downfall. We will wait. I think every single team this campaign is going to have that rough patch. Arsenal have had it, right? We've had it earlier on. Losing game after game, drawing games and losing games and dropping points from winning positions. Manchester City are going through something similar, and I love to say it. Like Pep Guardiola, you should have seen the look on Pep Guardiola's face. Now, he's not the usual antics manager. I mean, the guy that falls on the ground when Son is going to score and then he doesn't score. Those usual antics. Today, they were not there. Today it was real football. Today it was the real Tottenham Hotspur bringing real football to Manchester City. And I've already said that if teams just dare be brave and play brave football against this Manchester City side, who knows? I mean, Arsenal have been brave before, and we almost won the game, and we've beaten them before. Liverpool have always been brave under Jurgen Klopp, and they've always beaten Manchester City. And now Spurs becoming brave. Brighton did it last week. This is the most satisfying downfall of this club. I really love to see it. So this result really means a lot for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. For us as Arsenal fans, I don't think you wanted a better result than this. Manchester City losing by 4-0. And this means that they have lost 3 games in a row now. 3 games in a row in the Premier League. What more do you want? I mean, we won, which means that we capitalized on their defeat before it happened. It's brilliant, guys. It's really, really brilliant. Now, I want to make 1 or 2 statements. 1, make no mistake, Manchester City will bounce back. With or without Rodri, they're not going to be this team, right? And it's a big pity for us as Arsenal that we have not been able to capitalize on the drop of points that has actually happened earlier on the season with Manchester City. Imagine you win when they dropped points to Brighton. You win when they drop points today, and then you win when I think the first game they lost was 2-1 against Bournemouth. Imagine if Arsenal had capitalized. And that is how Liverpool have actually capitalized. And that's why Liverpool are 8 points above Manchester City. I think 8 points above City. Liverpool have a game in hand, actually, right? That's how they've done it. They've done it in that way because they've been able to win when Manchester City are weak. And that means that When Manchester City becomes strong again, Liverpool will have a starting point. But it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Now, first and foremost, without Rodri, this team ain't quality. Without Rodri, this team ain't quality. This team, there's nothing you're telling me. Without Rodri, this team isn't the same team. It isn't. And that's, again, we saw it today when Arsenal was playing Nottingham Forest. Jorginho was in there, and he was doing his thing. He was supplying Odegaard and the likes of Merino. But when Partey came on, it's like a different game. It's a different game. It's a different team. It's a different drive. You enter into a different zone. That is what Rodri gives to this Manchester City side. Because I mean, if you're Pep Guardiola, you're going to ask yourself one question: what is missing? Why are we, degenerating at this pace? The answer is Rodri. And Rodri could potentially be out until February, March, April, May, possibly the whole season. So, are they going to be like this? Welcome to the party. If they're going to be like this, I don't have a problem chasing Liverpool. We will chase Liverpool in this title race. We will chase Liverpool, and we will get there. We will get them. We will chase Liverpool, and we will get them. Manchester City, I want to know how they bounce back. I want to see how they bounce back from this. I want to see how, they create a momentum. I want to see how they create, a run of winning games. Because the problem they have here is games are going to be coming thicker and faster. So you have this, November period, which has around 2-3 games. And then you have December, which is action-packed. They have around 6 games in the Premier League, around maybe 2 games in the UEFA Champions League, and maybe 1 FA Cup. So you might have a total of 9 games in December. And yet your team still has to adapt to the fact that without Rodri, without Kovacic, you ain't quality. You ain't producing, anything, right? So this is a massive chance. And I remember saying yesterday but one that if Arsenal are going to win the title, this period between November, December, and January, this is what decides. By the time we get to Feb, there is a lot can happen. January transfer window has happened. Players have switched sides. There is that, March international break. So a lot will happen. Really, a lot will happen between March and the end of the campaign. But how you perform between Nov and Feb, that is where the real, that's where it's going to be. That's where the real determinants are actually going to be. Now, I don't want to go as far and stretch the line like people were saying, Manchester City are out of the title race. Manchester City ain't this and that. No, they're not out of the title race. But one thing I know now is City can lose a game at any time. They've lost to Bournemouth. They lost to Tottenham, 4-0. They've lost to Brighton, and Brighton came from a goal down to win that game. So City lost points from a winning position. But let's talk about this 4-0 defeat, guys. Let's talk about this 4-0 defeat, because what was I watching? I have seen Tottenham Hotspur play every kind of football today, and they've scored every kind of goal. They've scored a counter-attacking goal. They've scored a high press, aggressive goal. They've scored, just a beautiful clinical goal. They've literally gone and taken beautiful football to Manchester City. Like, if that performance was flipped the other way around, and we said, well, Manchester City have beaten Tottenham 4-0 with such a crunchy performance, everyone will be like, yeah, it's City. But this time, guess what? It is not City. It's the other way around. And there's so many lessons. If you are Arsenal, if you are Liverpool, if you are Chelsea, there are so many lessons that you learn from this performance. First, because to be honest, I don't think we can underestimate Enzo Maresca and his Blues anymore. They're a team that have become consistent, and they're a team that have become inevitable. So we can't discard them anymore. But if you're Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, there are things that you learn from this performance, and there are things that you learn from this game towards Man City. One, especially Arsenal, don't go to Man City and put your tail between your legs and wait for a miracle. Go and take football to them. Go and play real football against City and see what happens. I mean, listen, I celebrated a draw against Manchester City. I said, hell yeah, we got a draw against Man City 2-2. That was a good result. It wasn't now. Looking at this, looking at how they played against Brighton, looking at how they played against Bournemouth, looking at how they played against Tottenham, we should have won the game. I mean, that's, after all, that is what you're supposed to do if you are, going to win the league. 1 point is no longer a good result. The point we got at City is no longer a good result, because these undercuts the Tottenham showboaters have gone and picked up 3 points and a goal difference of +4. Can you imagine? So I think we need to understand that City are a good side. Respecting them is not a problem. Respecting them should not be, a point of contention. But giving them enough respect and praising them, there should be a clear line. I think managers like Mikel Arteta overly praise Pep Guardiola and Man City. And at times we give them the credit that they do not deserve. Managers like Ange Postecoglou have shown us, even when they lost last season, it was 2-0. Even when they lost, you saw elements of a good team that was just playing under pressure. And Tottenham were under pressure of a title race they didn't have anything to do with, right? So today, we've learned a very glorious lesson. Take real football to Manchester City and see them fold. Play real football. Bring in that, hard football. Go there and put in a challenge. Put in a shift and see Manchester City fold. That's number one. Number two, when you're playing City, take your chances. The first 2 chances that happen in that game, James Maddison, chance number 1, James Maddison, chance number 2, are both taken. And although City want to bounce back, the 2 goals actually did some damage to their morale. If that game goes 1-0 at half time, maybe City turn it around. Maybe he brings on Kevin De Bruyne a little bit earlier. And after the first 2 goals, Spurs had a couple of chances. Heung-min Son had a chance. I think Maddison had another. Kulusevski had another. And they didn't capitalize. But what helped them is they took their first 2 best chances. And in the second half, they come on. Dominic Solanke, leads the break. And again, Dejan Kulusevski. And they capitalize on another chance. If you can bury your chances against teams like City, they're really going to struggle in games like this. But listen, the title race is now open, guys. It's open. Liverpool is a little bit ahead, right? We started the weekend. Liverpool were 9 points clear of Arsenal, and now they're 6 points clear of Arsenal. But the whole point for me, the whole point of this weekend is not about focusing on Liverpool, right? It's about focusing on our immediate enemy, and that's Man City. If Arsenal can create, a difference in points with Man City, I think Liverpool are just like any other good team in the Premier League right now. I think they've got that element of inevitability, and it will help them massively as we go in the future. But it is City. It is City that we know can go 10 games unbeaten. It is City that we know can lose their last game today and they lose again next year, November. So City are being dealt with. Their downfall is mesmerizing. It's beauty. It's a beautiful disaster. You can't look away. You can't look away. A beautiful disaster, right? The decline of Man City is beautiful to watch. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Like I said, the title race is on. Title race is on. Until I say otherwise on this channel, this community, we are still believing the title race is definitely on.